Greetings, everybody. Today I just wanted to talk about this patch that I was working on. There's a lot of weird sort of modular, just weirdness going on. Kind of industrial, which is alright, so let's just listen to it. Cool deal. So the first thing I want to talk about is how we're using marbles. In marbles, we have it on the pseudo grids mode over here, and that is triggering the kick and the snare. And the kick drum is flats, and the snare drum is the Delta VCF. Firstly, with the kick, we have it on the granular formant mode, which is an interesting waveform that I would like to talk about more in depth in the future. But for now, we're just going to be looking at the harmonics knob up here. Backtracking a little bit, with marbles, the whole point of this patch is using this bias knob to basically increase the harmonic content of multiple sounds, right? We've got it on the minus 5 volts to positive 5 volts right here. And as we increase this, right, listen to the harmonic content of the kick. Yeah, so we can see marbles is biasing from negative 5 volts to 5 volts here, and that's controlling this harmonic knob, which we can turn here to get it, filtered out and whatnot. And as we increase it, well, let's move this up too. Right, this is increasing the frequency ratio between the two formants. Yeah, so that's how we're making the kick drum. Also notably, it's just being triggered with this top gate out here, and that's controlling the frequency modulation, which is giving it that sort of like pitchy attack. So if we just lower that, it's kind of filtered because we're not hearing that initial pluck. And we increase it, and it sounds like a sort of weird kick, which I really like. Anyways, the next thing that we're going to talk about is this filter right here. It's doing some interesting things here. If we get rid of this kick drum, firstly, and we stop the playback, there's an interesting thing that you can do with some filters. If you crank the resonance on some filters, they turn into basically a sine wave generator. So what we can do here is let's just take out, let's take out the CV. Oh wait, I just took out the output. All right, so let's take out the CV control real quick, and we're gonna take out the amplitude modulation there, and we have the resonance cranked up. And so let's just bring this up and see what it sounds like real quick. All right, this may be quite loud. All right, so let's see here. There we go. I'm keeping this amplitude quite low, but yeah, we change the frequency, and it's basically just a little oscillator. But cranking the resonance produces a sine wave. Yeah, awesome. And some filters even track volt per octave in that manner. This one, well, I haven't tried it. It might, but let's go ahead and plug everything back in. Cool deal. So yeah, so we have that sine wave, and it's being triggered by this envelope right there, this AD envelope, which is basically just giving us a really pitched sine wave, and it's on the lowest frequency setting right now. A lot of kick drums are made this way, and if you added in some noise, you could have sort of a less poppy, more snare-like sound, but I really like how lasery this sounds, so I didn't add any noise. But yeah, and you can see if we increase the frequency, we really get some lasers there, which is cool. And this process is known as pinging the filter. Whenever we just send a plucky envelope into the control voltage input of a very resonant filter. So that's how we're making the drums. The bias control isn't controlling any parameter with regards to the snare. So next thing we're going to talk about is the oscillators. So we have the first oscillator here. Yeah, just being controlled with the ornament and crime. And the bias knob in this, for this oscillator, is controlling the second CV input for the filter. So as we increase the bias, we're gonna open up the filter for that first for that first oscillator. And as you can see with the LEDs, most of them are turning red, indicating that we're closer and closer to positive 5 volts. Yeah, and also notice the kick drum increasing its harmonic content as well. Awesome. So we have that oscillator. Second oscillator we're working with is a sine wave. Just a plain sine wave with some amplitude modulation coming in from another envelope. And the second oscillator is running into the wave folder input. The bias knob is controlling the amount of wavefolding. So as we increase the bias, we sort of get these metal tones. Here, let's lower the kick real quick. Beautiful. Do you hear that? Those little metal tones? Beautiful, beautiful. And then we lower the bias knob and it lowers the wave folding amount. So again, even with this oscillator, we're just increasing the harmonic content with the bias knob. And now, let's bring them both in together. Let's bring in the kick. Yeah, this is awesome. We have a cool little groove going here, and the only thing that we're really missing is a bass line. Yeah, the bass line is just playing an E flat right now, and there's nothing much going on with it. It's just a really low sine wave with some noise and a very resonant filter. So yeah, thank you for tuning in.